Welcome to Fifth Third Field. Now, things might seem a little bit quiet to you right now, but that's because they're getting ready for a game a little bit later on this evening. But this is the home of our very own Toledo MudHens. Those same Toledo MudHens brought home to us 2 consecutive Governor's Cup championships in 2005 and 2006. And along with those championships came an event that has never come to the city of Toledo before, the AAA All Star Game. Today we're going to take a look back at that All-Star Game, and we're going to see how the MudHens staff pulled off such an event and what they had to do to make it happen right here in the city of Toledo. Let's go. Fifth Third Field, huh? What a magnificent sight. It truly is a ballpark for the ages. Did you know that Newsweek magazine named Fifth Third Field the best minor league stadium in the entire country? You know, I guess we need to have the best ballpark to be the home of one of the greatest and best known minor league teams in baseball, the Toledo MudHens. In 2006, for the first time in the ball club's history, Toledo, Ohio was named home of the AAA All Star Game. For one entire week, the MudHens staff hosted an array of events for both the community and their fans. Well, basically, they brought a whole lot of fun right here to downtown Toledo.
In over 100 years of history, the MudHens were never even considered for this game. It wasn't until the 2002 season and the success and the crowds that we were starting to be talked about, and actually a couple of other teams in our league actually stepped out of the way so that we could apply for the 2006 game.
Back in 20s, 30s, and 40s, there were barnstorming teams that major league players in the off season would travel the country, and Babe Ruth was part of one of those barnstorming teams. But that was like an informal all-star game, and it was almost like the circus coming through town, so you never knew what you would get. But that would be probably the closest to an all-star game from our community's perspective. Never anything that was formally awarded to Toledo.
For 36 years, the Toledo MudHens called Ned Skeldon Stadium in Maumee, Ohio their home. For some, it was the family atmosphere, the food, or maybe just the excitement. But for most, it was the unmatched determination of a minor league ball team and their love for the game that brought the fans out year after year to root for the home team. In 2002, the MudHens Ball Club relocated to downtown Toledo in the heart of the city, adding Fifth Third Field as a permanent staple to the Toledo skyline. This proved to be a valuable move when the overall attendance rose to heights never reached, and the ball club received opportunities they never imagined.
Ned Skeldon Stadium, we had done pretty much topped out about 300,000 people a year for our attendance, and when we moved downtown, we immediately went to 550,000 people a year.
If we were still in Maumee at Ned Skeldon Stadium, even with great attendance, we would not have been able to host the All-Star Game. The AAA All-Star Game now is, in many respects, larger than life for these mid-sized communities. That first year was such a magical season for us. All of AAA baseball took notice, and we're very pleased to award the game to Toledo, Ohio.
With the AAA All-Star Game in hand, the MudHens staff embarked on a personal quest to make this the best All-Star Game in the history of minor league baseball. As with any large event, it would involve extreme attention to detail and years of planning.
I think honestly the plan was not to screw it up. You know, I mean, we've come in, you know, we came into to hosting the game where there's been some other cities that, you know, did a great job. You know, Memphis, Indianapolis, Pawtucket, teams in our league that really just made the All-Star Game a great experience. So we were like, how can we play off what they did and even try to make it a little bit better and make it even a little more memorable? But we had our work cut out for us.
Right away, we started visiting all of the other cities that had hosted games, went to all of the games that were being hosted in the interim. took lots of notes. Our staff was just outstanding as far as asking questions, getting all the feedback, things to do better, things to avoid, and as a result, getting feedback from the fans as well. As a result, put on what we'd like to think was just a wonderful show for the community.
When we built the ballpark, obviously I think that was going to be a for sure thing. It was going to be a slam dunk that we would host the All-Star game eventually. I think many of us were a little surprised that weren't real close to the, to it, in regards to how it became a reality. I think some of us didn't realize how soon it was going to be. I mean, it was great to have, an All-Star game in the 5th year of a ballpark.
We'd sat down and we started developing different committees amongst ourselves internally, from anywhere from sponsorships that I was responsible for to hospitality to volunteers and just anything you can think of. We probably had, I think, 13 to 15 different type of committees that we started working on, and it was nonstop for over a year and a half, 2-year period.
Can you imagine how many muddy dogs had to be made up and how much popcorn popped during the span of the All-Star week? And I mean, besides the food, just think about all the people that were involved to make it such a huge success. I bet they had to put in a lot of overtime, and you know what, it showed because everything was almost picture perfect. Kind of makes me wonder what the staff's philosophy was as the game approached, Muddy dog, what you do to me?